Now, I am not against Joy and am Nomena Reid because she is an immigrant tether. No, that doesn't matter to me if she's an immigrant or not. I stand against her because she stands against foundational black Americans. Whether she's an immigrant or not, she could be a foundational black American herself, for all that matter. But I fight against those that fight against us. Our ancestors is in this land 400 years, and they are deep. They are deep. And they are fighting against those that stand against us. Now, Joy and Nomena Reid, mother is from Guyana. Her father is from the Congo. Her father did not spend much time with the family. He eventually went back to the Congo. He is an engineer, or he was an engineer. Her mother was a nutritionist, and she died, I think, in Iowa or Colorado, one of those states. When Joy was 17, she died of breast cancer, her mother. Joy and Reid now is 53. Now, the guy she married, Jason Reid, is a film editor. Joy, after her mother died, went from Colorado or Iowa, to Brooklyn, because she was born in Brooklyn. So she came back to Brooklyn and lived with an aunt. So Joy and Reid was raised mostly in Denver, Colorado. She went to Harvard, and she paid most of her way through Harvard herself. She took a film, concentration on films, FILM, films, in Harvard. She's married, and she had three children. I guess they must be pretty big by now. So she took a stand against foundational black Americans receiving reparation. I guess she knows what her white master wants. Her white master want immigrant tethers to undermine foundational black Americans. So being smart, she know where her bread is buttered at and from. So it's not just because she's an immigrant, no. They with us, we are with them. We fight against anyone who fight against us, immigrant or not. I don't take a stand against black immigrants. If they are for us, we are for them. Can't be foolish like that to fight against immigrants just because they are black immigrants. But when they want to undermine us, which many of them do, and the white masters sense that, and they sick them on us. So that's what I'm talking about. And so it's rumored that she is soon to be fired from MSNBC because of her low ratings. Goodbye and good riddance. So foundational Black Americans, what is the answer? We are brilliant, we are smart, and be sure someone, when we put our heads together, someone somewhere will come up with the answer of how can we find a space for ourselves and keep those that's against us from undermining us, seeking the glory that belongs to us. We fought for the few rights that we now have, for the opportunities now that we now have. And it's not funny, but people came up, black people from Jamaica, Haiti, Africa, just walk in the door that we opened. And after walking in the door that we opened, want to take our place and sit at the at the table and eat. Like I said, I'm not against immigrants. I love them, black, if they're black, whether they be from Jamaica, Haiti, or Africa. I love them as brothers and sisters. But I'm against those who are undermining us, who want to take our place. That's what I'm against. And right is right and wrong is wrong. As I repeat that our ancestors is in this land and is standing strong. They have strong spirit. And there's old seeing eyes who see and know and warn us. And among our people, there are billions who are warning us, coming up with the answer of what we ought to do. A spiritual answer. The road we must travel, the path we must take. Some of us are going to Africa. I don't say return to Africa when we haven't been there, but we are going there, not returning there, but going there. How could we return to Africa when we were born and raised in Harlem or the Bronx or Los Angeles, Chicago? So we're not returning, we are going. Some of us. Some of us are doing well, and some of us, they say that, I've heard that some guys, a few black guys from the West, are going and taking advantage of some African women, a few black guys. Now, from the West don't mean that they are foundational black Americans. It didn't say that they're just black and from New York. There's a lot of non-FBA who are black and raised in America and went to go to Africa. But they are not one of us. And so we are not to be blamed for what a rotten apple does. But we won't take advantage of anybody or defraud anybody. woe be for anyone who defraud their neighbors or their brother. So those people are maybe agents who does that, who want to besmirch our name, our holy name. But going back to Joy and Reid, pretty sure she's doing pretty good for herself. She's 53. I'm sure she saved up enough money. She's getting paid good at the MSNBC. Again, not because she's a tether, but because of the stand they are taking against us. And some of us, foundational Black Americans, are staying in America. And we're having some triumph. The new mayor of New York City, I believe is FBA. I don't know for certain, but I believe so. Because he said he wanted his brother to head up his security. Because he mentioned about these white supremacists. He's aware of the white supremacists that's against him. And they are even attacking the new black Manhattan DA, Reid. They're attacking the two most powerful positions in New York City. And they are taking the L in the most powerful city in the world. The Manhattan DA and the mayor. And the white so-called supremacists, of course, they use that name, and so we are using it, but it is really an oxymoron. But we are using what they're using, what they call themselves, and it's a way to ridicule them, really. Because some of them are of the lowest caliber of people. Of course, it's confusing because there are Caucasians who with us, who appear to be fighting for it with us. But with our low economic system as a group, we are considered as a group, not just as individuals. They say it would take 228 years for us to catch up and to remove the wealth gap. Because we were their wealth at the foundation of the building of this nation. They build wealth on our backs while we were kept poor. So they had a 228-year head start. 228 years start keeping us from wealth while they build wealth on our back, using us as collateral. But now, even if we heed the warning of our great ancestor Booker T. Washington, who gave us good advice for that time, where he consecrated and said there should be an emphasis not on in the political world, but in business and education. And the institution which he built is still standing strong. Tuskegee Institute, still standing strong. I remember I lived in Atlanta for a while, and I met this young lady who was going to Tuskegee. And she came up to my room, and we took a little while until her friend came to get her friends. And my foolish behavior, oh my goodness, foolish as I was as a younger person. And I'm oh my goodness, when we look back and see all the foolishness that we have done, we are messed up. She was a beautiful young lady. I think she was from the Bahamas or Bermuda or someplace like that. But she was attending Tuskegee. And I'm doing a kind of word salads now. I'm going from one thought to the next thought. One thought leads to the next thought. Even through the main topic was Joy and M. Nomena Reid, who took a stand against foundational black people getting reparation. Not because against her, I repeat it, and I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to repeat it. Not against any black immigrants who are with us. But if they are not with us, then they are against us. With that fake patriotism, if they are an American citizen, why are they waving Jamaican or Haitian flag? If they love their country so much, why aren't they there? They're here and have no intention of going back. Even African, as I said, I love them. I want them to prosper, but not on our backs. Not to take our place. The Haitians risking their life, especially the Haitian, among other people. They always say Haitian, but there's other South America, Mexicans, more of them a danger to us than the black immigrants. Those are Mexicans. They're letting them flood in, trying to pit them against us also. But the trickery has came to an end, because this nation is under divine judgment right now. COVID is just one of the early signs of the judgment. Howbeit that it came from China, it is said, but it is inflicted the Western nations, like the United States, so-called United Kingdom, France, Germany, Spain, Italy. But look out, more judgment is coming.